welcome to Issaquah Buzz, where we talk about all things business in Issaquah, from retail gossip to new restaurants. My name is Autumn Monahan. I work for the City of Issaquah's communications team, and I'm here with Jen Davis Hayes, one of my favorite coworkers, who works in economic development, supports local businesses, and one of my favorite people to gossip local businesses with. Before we turn to what we typically start with, which is business gossip, make sure to stay tuned to the end of our podcast, where you hear from some farmers market vendors to celebrate Farmers Market Week, which is coming up. So, hi, Jen. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you today, Autumn?
Doing good on a sunny day.
I know.
Happy summer.
Yes, finally. And I think that kind of starts us off with our gossip of we found out that Fortunato Chocolate over in the Commons is doing soft serve ice cream. And for our vegan friends, they even have vegan soft serve.
Yes, I saw the signage recently near, because they have two locations, one near Top Pot and then one over by REI. I happened to be at the Top Pot location getting Taylor Swift themed donuts last week, and that reached my limit. So couldn't get the soft serve yet, but I saw their signs and was intrigued, especially by the vegan option. But I bet it's delicious. I hope there's a chocolate version.
Everything they do is good. So check it out and cool down in a different way. So, and it helps support a local business, which is great.
Yeah, they have a really awesome story, which we've featured before, but is really fun to dive into if you haven't heard that yet. The next one on the list, I was excited to see. This is one of my just favorite restaurants in Issaquah, Monahan Curry, which has been written up in all sorts of food blogs and restaurant reviews. I know they've been featured in the Seattle Times. Oh my gosh, the most delicious food. But I know that they were only doing pickup or deliveries, especially during COVID. But it sounds like they're now offering dine-in services again.
I was there last week and they actually remodeled. So I walked in and I was like, wait a minute, where am I? It looks really nice. And so if you remember, you kind of went to the counter and then ordered. Now you're sitting down. So it's all sit down and be served. And it's just really nice environment. So, and the food's just as good. So check it out.
Yes, the biryani is really good there. I could probably do a whole podcast on that.
Well, that's really good. Yeah, I worked with the owners when they opened the second location, and they really, really loved coming to Issaquah, and they're really excited to be here. And I always order the same thing though, chicken tikka masala, because it's so good. But I need to expand my horizons next time I'm there.
Let's go together and get a couple different dishes just to expand your horizons on
there you go.
The Monahan Curry menu.
Yes, I will eat lots.
So there's a couple closures too that are worth noting. One is the boarding house, and that was in Gilman Village, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And here forever.
It was a very long time, yes. Yeah. And unfortunately, the two owners has chosen to close the business for personal reasons. And so I know that's something that a lot of people who've gone there over the years and continue to count on going there are really, really upset. But we hope the best for those owners in their next endeavor. And I'm sure that the owners of Gilman Village are going to find a great replacement, because they are really good at finding unique businesses and restaurants to make that place special. So
fingers crossed.
Sad to see him go.
Yeah, definitely. And then the other was Wells Fargo in the Highlands, also closed. So go ahead.
No, sorry. That's a little bit more of a broader, not because of anything in the Highlands, but Wells Fargo as a corporate. They've talked about closing that location for a while, and so I think this is just the banking industry and figuring out. I don't know. When's the last time you've been into a bank location branch?
Yeah. I went in once just recently to go get some cash for a garage sale.
Oh yeah.
And just to get some different dollar bills, for teaching my kids about what it's like to do a garage sale. But the teller too was like, why are all these people coming in today to get cash? Come to find out, it was neighborhood wide. But very rarely do I go into a bank. Yeah, everything's online.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Well, Wells Fargo will still be open on Gilman, so they're not leaving our community. So if you're a Wells Fargo customer, don't despair. So
great. Okay, this next one I had not heard of, but then saw a ribbon cutting, some photos with the
Yeah.
mayor and others.
Yeah.
Felix and Fido.
Yes, so they're a vet clinic over by PCC, and
Okay.
so they are a really unique aspect. They talked about eventually doing some mobile services,
Oh,
but yeah, it's just a really fun, welcoming clinic that they have dove into the community and really I have really wanted to be more involved and think about how to make our animals and ourselves feel really comfortable there. So we're excited to have them join our community. And the unfortunate thing is there's a lot of construction right now at that
yeah,
location. So at that intersection, which is going to be amazing when it's done, but of course construction requires a little bit of dust. So we're the city's improving that intersection to add an additional turn lane. So when you come out of that area, you're going to have the ability to have uh, not be as backed up in that area. So
yeah.
all of those business back there, PCC, Happy Lemon Bubble Tea, Michael's, Lowe's, Olympic Hot Tub, T-Mobile, all along 12th Avenue are open. Please don't forget that. There is an easier way to get to them on 11th Avenue,
Yep.
but and so you can go that way if you want to avoid the one lane, one way closure. But please, don't avoid going to those businesses during the construction time because it is really important to keep them going. So.
And a plug for Jenny Fa. So
Oh yeah.
we are hosting someone here at the city from elsewhere in the country, and he said, I came in on a Sunday night and I was just hungry, and so I just happened upon Jenny Fa, and best pho of my life, just hands down. And I'm standing up with pride of like, welcome to Issaquah. So
That's right.
another plug for that too. And yes. It is going to be there's some challenges right now with access, but in the end, I think it's just going to be so wonderful to have some more capacity on that road because it's always backed up.
It is.
And oftentimes hard to turn into Happy Lemon or into that area, right?
Yeah.
And it's been one of the projects on the city's list for years, and one of the projects that was that had some support and funding from Costco. So as Costco has redeveloped its location and its headquarters, there has also been some traffic impact fees that were paid to the city, which helped us build that roundabout on the other side of Costco.
Yes.
But this is part of the enhancement and work that Costco helped paid for to support some of that growth. And so just important to note that as well.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing that you and I chatted about a bit earlier was we're celebrating Non and Curry also has in-person dining now. A lot of things are feeling a bit more normal, right? As people are dining indoors and enjoying being in crowds. But I've also noticed too, there's times I've come to restaurants or come to retail shops and the hours have changed. Yeah. And just a reminder to stay patient with our local businesses who may have some challenges just around staffing.
No doubt. And I think, we remember that during, COVID and right after when it reopened, we kind of had that, in our minds, but, you feel like, oh, it's been 2 years. They are still struggling sometimes. And so some businesses have had to close, that day because staffing didn't show up and then, things happen. People get sick. Right. There's emergencies. So, just remember next time you're sitting there to have that little bit, take a deep breath. And the people who are there are usually working, double time to try to give everybody good service. And so just kind of remember that. And please, if you go to your favorite business and they're not open the day you went, please try again because, again, they want to be there. And that's the only way to kind of get over this bubble is to continue to be loyal to our local businesses. So,
all right. And last on our list around gossip is a project that both of our teams worked on together, which was fun. I do love my job because the randomness sometimes of projects is so cool. We worked together to design some patios. Oh yeah, show it off. Some cafe boundary signs. So what are these used for, Jen?
I know. Look at this. It's like, it may not look all that fancy, but this is great. So you may have noticed some of they're a little different than what big picture is using, but they gave us the idea to really kind of dive into this. So if you have outdoor dining and you're serving alcohol, you have to have basically a little fence or roping around your area. And with our, sidewalks and people walking through, sometimes it feels like a barrier. Even though there's enough room, it just feels like there's not enough room. Yeah. So the Liquor Control Board during COVID, really, allowed us to try some new things. And one of them is to have these markers on the ground. So that means basically if you're sitting within that outdoor cafe area, you can't take your drink across that, fence, but now it's not a fence. Yeah. So I think it just makes it nicer view and also access for people who are walking and seeing our downtown and other sidewalk districts. And we, the city, want to support this. So we have purchased the lovely cafe boundaries designed by Autumn and her team, and we'll provide them to anybody who has a sidewalk cafe permit if they'd like to use that instead of the fencing, roping, that kind of thing. So I think it'll really make a difference for those who want to try that out. So excited to try something new, and we hope it's successful and people really understand that still means you can't go on the other side of the line, but it feels like it's part of the whole vibrancy of the downtown and other sidewalk areas.
Well, and I have noticed there's way more patio seating available at local restaurants in the past couple of years, especially in the summertime. It's just wonderful. So I'm excited to see how this program can even expand it more. So yeah, thank you.
Definitely.
Yes. All right. So moving on to the topic of today's podcast, which is business giving. And we often think about this topic, end of year, and we wanted to take some time this summer to really acknowledge that some businesses in our community are supporting year-round in many different ways, just kind of are the fabric of our community. And the need is also year-round, not just during the holidays. And our nonprofits would always love our support. So we wanted to celebrate some of those businesses that take the next step in our community. So first up, Nothing Bundt Cakes. So the only perk I know about Nothing Bundt Cakes is a free bundt cake on your birthday.
Well, that is enough of giving. That's just amazing. I did not know that, and I missed it. Darn it, this year. All right, next year. Next year, I'm going.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what gave me the idea of, let's really think about all the ways that we probably don't even know that our businesses really do help support our community. And so our human services program mentioned how they had been really supportive of providing donations to their program for their various aspects. So they have, helping the unhoused and helping the homeless. They have, every kind of human service that's out there. And so it made me really think about the unseen things. And so we're trying to uncover some of those things, and we know we don't have it all. So definitely would love to hear other ideas and other aspects that our businesses do support the community. But I know that when I first met the owner of Walls of Books, she talked about how she likes to give back to the community. She donates books all the time to PTAs because she was very involved in PTAs in school. And so again, I think there's a lot of people are choose how and who they give to, and I think we just want to celebrate that part.
Yeah. So another one is Small Threads. So that's a local consignment store that is focused on children's clothing and toys and all things kids, right? I think even strollers and stuff. But they also donate clothing that doesn't sell. Is that the case?
Yeah. So, sometimes they'll get clothing that is out of size or, again, just doesn't sell. And so you can imagine if you've ever been in there's a lot. So they are constantly providing that opportunity for families or community to really, get access to high quality clothes at no cost. So it's again, a really nice thing they do that, they mention it, but they're not like talking about it all the time and showing off kind of thing. And I think this next one, again, that I discovered through our human services team is another one that wouldn't know it happens, but at Target, I understand that if they happen to see somebody who comes in that looks unhoused and kind of maybe in need of some help, they actually hand them a backpack that has toiletries, some food, some water, some things to kind of help them out, and hoping that two things, that they are showing some care to people who need some help, but also not putting people in a predicament where I need to steal bottled water, or I need to, toothbrush.
Right.
And so, that I think that's something that just really shows that they care, and they're not out there saying, look at us, we're doing all these amazing things. But the corporation itself does a lot of, giving and education, et cetera. But to see that level of giving at
Yeah.
individual level is just really, I think, important to kind of think about.
That's great.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of larger companies in town too that support nonprofits or human services agencies, or do matching programs with their employees. One to highlight, I think, is Sanmar. They're consistently in the news. Again, not always touting what they do, but are being recognized for their support in the community locally and throughout the country. So that's a big one. And then what else do we have on our list?
So Umpqua Bank,
Umpqua.
yeah. So they have a bank foundation that gives grants. Again, didn't know, gives grants to nonprofits, and so they recently announced that they gave grants to 78 nonprofits. And so not all of them are here in Issaquah, of course, but that supporting that network, because again, not all of the services that the nonprofits provide are going to be headquartered in Issaquah, but our residents benefit from that. So I know that, banks and credit unions often do things helping individuals with financial literacy. I know the Harborstone Credit Union does a lot of that, helping small businesses with small business planning. So things that are not, aren't charged for, but help that individual get to the next place. So, even if it's not about a nonprofit or human service, there's other ways that our businesses are helping our community. And I think this next one, I have to look at my notes because I have to get the letters correct. But if anybody's been to the downtown Issaquah Plaza, APQS Northwest, you know what that is? Have you been there?
No.
Yes. So they moved from Cascade Business Park, and now they're in a much more visible spot. And so I kind of feel like they're new, but they're not. And they have long arm quilt machines. I think they have like 5 of them. Don't quote me if that's incorrect. But you can go in there and you can rent time. You can help. You can also pay them to help with your quilt, and it's amazing. I don't quilt, but just seeing that makes me get inspired to go to kind of try something. So they also have some materials you get there, and they've just been so helpful, so friendly, and so helpful when I've had some questions about things to go in there. But what I learned is that you can use their machines if you're making a quilt for charity. So you can use their machines for free.
Oh,
So
cool.
that is really nice. So I think, a lot of people make quilts for, hospitals or, domestic violence shelters or other places you want to give people comfort. And I think that's just an amazing way that they can help contribute their skills and talents.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think it's also, as we talk about businesses and how they're so integral to our community, is also their participation in so many of our nonprofits or other groups that make Issaquah what it is.
Yeah.
And the list is so long, but it's the chamber, it's the Downtown Issaquah Association, it's Visit Issaquah, the Issaquah Highlands Council. What am I missing? Food Bank, Issaquah History Museums, right? And then even the Economic Vitality Commission, which I know that you staff on the city side. All of these organizations and groups are supported by business leaders here in town.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think I love our residents, of course, but I think, one of the things we forget about is the individuals in our businesses that give their time after hours as well. And
Yeah.
so they have a passion for the topic. Their business really sees the importance, and not just saying I'm from whatever company, but that they are truly integrated and part of the community. And I think that's what I love most about my job, is not just seeing that a business, oh, they're providing this great service or product, but that they how they care about the community and how they want to be involved. And I don't think any business in our community is not like that, right? It's like
Yeah.
you go and you talk to them about a need, and most of them will be able to step up and find a way to offer assistance in any way. And so we just encourage, everybody to thank each other when you see that when you see that happening. But also, if you want to get more involved, we have some, lots of ways to get involved in our community. I mean, everything from an event. I mean, we had the School of Rock perform at our 4th of July event, which was really nice to see the students perform. And I think I know somebody who has a student. I don't know, were your students, were your children part of that performance?
No, soon though. Yes.
Okay. Oh.
Hopefully, yes. But yes, my girls love School of Rock. Yeah. Huge fans in our family.
Yeah. So I think there's ways like that we are always looking for opportunities to showcase our businesses. And we do a lot, again, in the city for volunteering as well. Within the city. What do you know about that, Autumn?
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention, hopefully we've inspired you a bit today when it comes to just participating in our community and how much our businesses do that, but a lot of opportunities also for individuals. And whether you're organizing, a lot of people work for larger corporations where they do a volunteer day and they're looking for what kind of opportunities are available. Or if you're just interested in volunteering yourself, we have a ton of options at the city. So if you just Google City of Issaquah and volunteer, you'll find our page. But that's anything from working out in open space, being a part of our Green Issaquah program, all the way to serving on boards and commissions. We just mentioned the Economic Vitality Commission, but we have a variety of boards and commissions that span anything from arts to development. And so that's another great way to get involved and meet people who have the same interests that you do. So make sure to check that out if you're interested in getting more involved. And, if there's ever any questions about what's out there to, volunteer and to support our community, you can also email us at ed@issaquahwa.gov, and we can connect you as well. So with that, let's pivot now and also celebrate Farmers Market Week, which is coming up here soon. And let's see, it's on August 6th through the 12th. And so to celebrate, we went out to a recent farmers market and chatted with several vendors to hear more about their stories and what they're selling. A quick shout out to Kelly Deanne and our rest of our staff who produce the farmers market. That's another service that the city provides. So let's hear a bit about their stories and get inspired to make sure to visit the market, which is every Saturday from 9 to 2 at Pickering Barn.
We are from Selah, Washington. We're a family business. My dad has been a farmer all his life, but in 2020 he decided to start working for himself, so he opened his business. He works really hard to bring everything fresh for our customers. What I love about farmers markets is that we get the opportunity to come and sell what we produce. And that's what we love, to have all our customers come back every week and buy more and tell us, the good stuff about our produce. I feel like the families in the community could get together every week and come and enjoy their favorite fruits and vegetables and come and have a little family time.
We're Burns Vegan Bakery. This is our second year at the Farmers Market. We started last year. We had one fudge flavor, chocolate peanut butter, and now we're up to over 20. Issaquah Farmers Market is Washington's leading farmers market for so many reasons. The market management is on top of things, so organized, so professional. The vendors, there's such diversity and quality products brought to the market. And the market goers, they're so friendly. They love this market so much, and it makes it a welcoming and really great place to be. We're here to make the world a better place for the animals, the environment, and humanity, and we're so happy to be here.
Cascadia Meats is a 3-year-old company. We're just starting our 3rd summer here. We're a Seattle-based sausage and charcuterie company, working really hard to source all of our proteins from local family farms and ranches. I love farmers markets and the sense of community that they create. You get to see a wide, diverse range of businesses, whether it's from farmers or ranchers and producers like me, or bakeries, or fun people that are doing all kinds of fun, intricate little crafts and such. Being here at the historic Pickering barn really is a strong highlight for me. This is our first summer here at Issaquah, and to be in this gorgeous setting at the barn with all these wonderful vendors here really makes for a unique and special environment.
All right, Jen, so that's a wrap on our latest edition of Issaquah Buzz. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you have a topic or a business that you are curious about or want to let us know about, please send us an email at ed@issaquahwa.gov. Thanks again.